It would be an absolute injustice to K-pop stans if I were to keep sitting here and teaching you about fashion without ever mentioning the most important brand in the industry, Louis Vuitton. You just cannot think about K-pop and fashion without Louis Vuitton coming to mind. What Louis Vuitton is to fashion is what the big three is to K-pop. Their influence is just inescapable. It's the brand with the most representation and most exposure in the K-pop industry. I would even go as far as to say that out of all the luxury brands, Louis Vuitton is the brand that invests the most resources in its K-pop strategy. These days, it's hard to imagine a Louis Vuitton show without at least one K-pop idol in attendance. And on the flip side, it's hard to think of even one K-pop group that hasn't engaged with Louis Vuitton in one way or another. But their overwhelming visibility within the industry is not a recent development. It's the result of Louis Vuitton's deep relationship with K-pop that actually goes way back. And because this is FashionULT, where I teach K-pop stans all about the fashion industry, I'm going to take you on a deep dive into Louis Vuitton's history with K-pop. Starting from way back, I'll take you to the present while teaching about everything that happened in between, including the major milestones, craziest moments, all the house ambassadors, and some of the hit pieces they've had over the years. This video is going to be for the true lovers of K-pop and fashion that want to learn all about one of the most dynamic brands in all of K-pop fashion's history. So if that's you, make sure you are tuned into this video. K-pop has been on Louis Vuitton's radar even way back in 2009 when they gifted G-Dragon from Big Bang a pair of shoes from the brand's collaboration with Kanye West. The ones he got were these pink ones called the Mr. Hudsons, which is kind of like a moccasin style. He was so excited about them that he even posted them on his Me Today, which was kind of like this update style social media platform that some idols used to use. This gift was a big deal because apparently at the time, G-Dragon was the only person in Korea to receive these shoes from Louis Vuitton. And also, apparently, he was the first South Korean singer to be sponsored by Louis Vuitton. The reason I keep saying apparently is because the news reports citing this have been endlessly syndicated and translated over and over, so it's been impossible for me to find the original source. These days, it's become very common or even expected for K-pop idols to attend runway shows for luxury brands during Fashion Week. This was definitely not the case 10 years ago, so it was pretty major to see Taeyang from Big Bang at a Louis Vuitton show in 2013. He attended the Louis Vuitton Men's Spring Summer 14 show, which took place in June of 2013. At that time, Louis Vuitton menswear was designed by Kim Jones, and the looks were very different to the Louis Vuitton we see and know today. Kim Jones had such an excellent era at Louis Vuitton, and him having Taeyang attend the show even back in 2013 really shows how in tune he and the brand are and is till to this day with contemporary culture. One thing about Louis Vuitton is that they are going to pull the heavyweights. In 2017, Sehun of EXO, during the height of EXO's fame, attended the Louis Vuitton Fall Winter 17 show in Paris. Like, this was the same year that EXO released their album The War, which would go on to win Album of the Year at the Mama Awards. EXO would also win Artist of the Year at the 2017 Melon Awards. The fact that they were able to pull Sehun during this era, like Louis Vuitton really knew what was up. Sehun and Louis Vuitton wasn't just a one and done type situation either. He would also go on to attend the Cruise 2019 show, which is actually one of my favorite overall collections by Louis Vuitton's women's wear artistic director, Nicolas Ghesquière. By now, you could probably see that Louis Vuitton had a pretty long-standing relationship with YG Entertainment and its artists. This fact is further underscored by a huge campaign they did in collaboration with YG artists for the Twist bag, a bag that has become an icon for the brand since being introduced in 2015. For anyone unfamiliar with the bag, the Twist bag is known for its signature hardware that physically twists. Elle Korea magazine, which featured the campaign that multiple YG artists participated in, including CL from 21, Taeyang from Big Bang, Winner, and Blackpink. Looking back, the way YG had a grip on K-pop at the time was crazy. And for Louis Vuitton to get all those artists in one campaign is even crazier, honestly. Like, look at the way my friends were eating, you guys. Fun little fact, the looks that Blackpink were wearing in the campaign were from Louis Vuitton's Spring Summer 18 collection. Fast forward to 2024, Lisa from Blackpink wore a jacket from that same collection to Louis Vuitton's Fall Winter 24 show. She's such a cool girl. If you were paying attention to K-pop at all in 2019, you would know how much of a breakout ITZY had when they first debuted with Dala Dala. JYP definitely did something with ITZY's debut, and Louis Vuitton must have been tuned in because only 3 months after ITZY debuted, they were invited to attend a Louis Vuitton show in May 2019. Them inviting ITZY really shows that the brand is willing to take bets early on the careers of these K-pop idols. This risk-taking trait is something that's been present all throughout the brand's history and continues to be seen to this day, which you'll see later in this video. There had to have been something in the 2019 air because one of the most iconic moments in all of K-pop and fashion history also happened that year when Mino from Winner made a surprise appearance walking on the Louis Vuitton runway for the Spring Summer 20 show that took place in June of 2019. This was the first time that a K-pop idol walked on the runway for Louis Vuitton. It was such a great fit for him and his look was kinda everything. I can't even describe to you how cool his walk was. I remember being at work totally stunned because my worlds were colliding in a way that I had never seen before. This move of having an idol on the runway was really ahead of its time because it wasn't until the last 2 years or so that we started to see more and more K-pop idols on the runway. This moment was even more special because this era of Louis Vuitton was designed by the late Virgil Abloh. Virgil Abloh's vision for Louis Vuitton was so intrinsically tied to music that it just felt like it made perfect sense to see Mino on the runway. Mino walking for Louis Vuitton is a moment that is for sure going down in K-pop fashion history. 2021 was the year that the biggest boy group in K-pop came together with the biggest luxury brand in fashion. In March of 2021, BTS wore custom Louis Vuitton designed by Virgil Abloh to the Grammy Awards, and then a month later in April, BTS were announced as official brand ambassadors for Louis Vuitton. This was a historic chapter for both the group and the brand because this was the first time that the group had signed on to be ambassadors for a luxury brand, and this is the first time that Louis Vuitton had a full group as house ambassadors. In June of 2021, only a few months after BTS were announced as ambassadors, Louis Vuitton really doubled down on their investment by shooting a whole campaign runway video starring the BTS members. In the 8-minute long video, which was shot in Seoul, the brand showcased their Fall/Winter 21 menswear collection. Throughout the rest of their ambassadorship, BTS would wear full Louis Vuitton during key appearances and editorials, including this Vogue spread and eventually the 2022 Grammys. Are you liking this video and learning a lot so far? I really hope so because I think this is one of my best videos ever. And if you want to keep learning even more about K-pop and fashion, make sure to subscribe to FashionULT, your K-pop stan inside scoop on the industry. When I said that Louis Vuitton has a track record of making early bets, I meant it. And another great example of this is when they signed Haya to be an official brand ambassador in December of 2022, only 6 months after NewJeans' surprise debut. Speaking of the NewJeans debut, did you notice how in the Attention performance music video, the members prominently wore Louis Vuitton? The blue Louis Vuitton jersey that Minji wore in the music video even had a little moment in K-pop fashion. Aside from Minji wearing the jersey, Jaemin from NCT Dream also wore this jersey during the promotions for NCT Dream's Glitch Mode. Jin from BTS also wore this jersey multiple times, including during sound checks and on the tennis court. I personally believe that this Louis Vuitton jersey was one of the key pieces that ignited the trend of jerseys that we would see in fashion up until this very day. And this jersey is just one of the numerous Louis Vuitton items that have had a grip on K-pop idols over the years. Let me know if you'd be interested in a full video where I talk about all the iconic Louis Vuitton pieces over the years. It was during 2023 that Louis Vuitton really took their stake in K-pop to a next level. It was a record-breaking year where they relentlessly signed on new house ambassadors. Get ready for the list I'm about to show you. They signed J-Hope from BTS as a solo ambassador. They signed Jackson Wang of GOT7 and then dressed him for the Met Gala. They signed Felix from Stray Kids. They signed all of Les Seraphim. And just to flex on everyone one last time before the year ended, they signed freshly debuted rising group Rise. In just 1 year, they added 14 new house ambassadors to the roster. Like, what? This is when I really started to take in the magnitude of Louis Vuitton's investment into K-pop. But not only K-pop was on the mind of Louis Vuitton in 2023, all of Korea seemed to be on their mind because for the first time, they staged a destination show in South Korea. And of course, it was packed with K-pop idols in attendance. They even had Les Seraphim performing for the after party. Like, where was I for that? Even up until 2024, Louis Vuitton's momentum in K-pop has not slowed down one bit. In early 2024, Louis Vuitton signed longtime friend of the house, Bam Bam from GOT7, to be a house ambassador. Then in April, Louis Vuitton would enter the world of K-pop girl group stagewear for one of the most important stages in the world, Coachella. Nicolas Ghesquière, who's the women's artistic director of Louis Vuitton, designed custom stage outfits for Les Seraphim's timeline-breaking Coachella performance. He did such a fantastic job outfitting the girls for such a momentous performance in their career. The designs cleverly integrated Louis Vuitton's house codes and signatures. Let me know if you'd be interested in a video where I break down each of the outfits the girls of Les Seraphim wore for the Coachella performance. For the Fall/Winter 24 Louis Vuitton show, Nicola really did his big one when he had Stray Kids' Felix close out the show. Nicola Guesquière actually celebrated his 10-year anniversary at Louis Vuitton with this show, so to have Felix close out such a major milestone show was a pretty big deal. We were most definitely all cheering when it happened. What I loved most about the moment was that it did not in any way at all feel like a stunt. They perfectly utilized Felix's ethereal visual. And finally, Louis Vuitton's most recently announced power move is that Lisa from Blackpink will be joining the brand as their newest house ambassador. This takes their total number of K-pop idol house ambassadors to 17, far exceeding any other luxury brand. This was a huge move for the brand because Louis Vuitton now has representation across all the top-tier mega groups in the K-pop industry. Adding Lisa not only bolsters their already strong lineup of idol ambassadors, but it also paints the clearest picture yet of Louis Vuitton's overall strategy when it comes to utilizing K-pop idols. And there we have it. From past to present, 0 ambassadors to 17, and everything that happened in between. Over the last 15 years, Louis Vuitton has consistently had a pulse on the K-pop industry, which has led to such a deep cachet of iconic moments. I truly believe that Louis Vuitton's tenacity is what has enabled them to become ubiquitous not only in the K-pop industry, but the entire world. The brand has such a unique relationship with K-pop that I'm eager to see how it's going to evolve in the years to come. I hope that during this video, you learned a lot about Louis Vuitton and its impact on the K-pop industry. And if you did, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And make sure to subscribe because my name is Kevin and I teach K-pop stans all about fashion through our alts.